Welcome back to First Time Homebuyer Bootcamp. Now you found the one. Now what? We're in week 4. So we're getting down here to the end, to my last buyer bootcamp. So let's dive in and see where we're at here. If home ownership and house hunting has been on your mind lately, you don't want to miss these month's series of videos. I officially launched my First Time Homebuyer Bootcamp, which means this whole month I've been sharing everything you need to know to have a successful home buying experience. Today's week 4, which means you've already learned all about the process of setting up custom home search, and what to expect when you're house hunting. If you've missed weeks 1 through 3, you can go back to my Facebook or back to my Instagram TV, and they're all there. I've saved them all right up and loaded them right up on there. Just so you can go back and watch them from week 1. Today, I'm going to talk about what happens when you find the one and what steps it takes to start creating Pinterest boards for every room in your home. So fill up your coffee cup, your water bottle, or your wine glass, and join me for today's mini session. So you found the one. What's next? You toured a home. You checked most of the boxes that you want, and you're ready to write an offer. But first, you might want to ask yourself a few questions to make sure you're making the right decision. Here's what I recommend to my buyers. 1, how long do you plan on living in the home? You'll want to consider whether or not this home meets your needs, not just for right now, but if you're planning on staying there for 5 to 10 years down the road, and what you think your plans are going to be, you might want to make sure that that's going to work for that as well. So definitely do a double check on that. Make sure, one thing that's very hard for buyers to do is they have a hard time looking past paint and carpets. So you want to look beyond the decor. Remember, things like paint colors, flooring, even countertops, they can always be changed over time. The location, the layout, and the size of the home, that's what you want to make sure fits your needs. Always ask yourself these questions about things you can't change and decide if you're happy with them. Number 3, does the cost of the home reflect how much you want to spend monthly? This is important to think about. The big number of the total mortgage amount and break down how the monthly payment's going to be, because you need to add in your taxes and your homeowner's insurance, sometimes flood insurance, since we're at the Jersey Shore, will be applicable here. So all of that reflects your budget. Also, if you're going into a condo or a townhouse and there's or 55 and over community, and you have homeowner association fees, that's important too, because that all gets added into your monthly number. And that also could be an issue with your mortgage, but that was all last week, right? So after asking yourself these 3 questions, you want to make a decision with confidence instead of with emotions. This is where we're going to be entering the negotiation portion of the home buying process. And it's important to try as best as possible to not let your emotions get in the way. Again, so you want to make smart real estate decisions. And that's what I want to do to help you do that. Okay, so what you should be prepared for next. So it's time to write an offer, and we're going to submit it to the sellers. I won't get into all of the offer details right now in today's show, but this is something I walk my clients through at our buyer consultation. So when the time does come, you know what to be thinking about. And if you forget, I'm still going to help you as we go, as we're talking about everything. We're also going to decide on things like the offer price, how much of a deposit, earnest money deposit you want to put down, your closing date, what the seller's including or excluding, and if that works for you or doesn't, and how we're going to handle that, as well as your financial terms and any other contingencies that are built in. 9 times out of 10, home inspection and appraisal is always built in. However, there's always that one time, depending on circumstances. It's an as-is home, it's a foreclosure, it's you're paying cash, you're not getting a home, you're not getting a mortgage, and therefore an appraisal is not required. Do you still want to get one? There's a lot of little things that one time could change it, but hey, right now, 9 times out of 10, we're going to talk about all of those things when we write our offer. Once we officially submit the offer is when the negotiating can begin. This is where sometimes buyers might feel nervous, but don't worry. I'm the one in charge of communicating with the listing agent and handling the negotiations. I'll prepare you for who is responsible for which step and when it comes to negotiating the various parts of the offer, so you understand what's happening and what your options are. You'll always be kept in the loop, but nothing will ever fall on your shoulders when it comes to figuring out what to do next. In a sense of, you will make the decisions, but I will definitely be there to tell you what decision is next to make. And hopefully I'll be able to help you with, information to make an informed decision. If and when we come to an agreement, and we always like to say when, we come to an agreement with the sellers, is when we'll start moving through the various parts of the offer and making sure we meet our deadlines and satisfy all of the contingencies. You'll be in communication with both me, your lender, and most of the time, if you have an attorney, your attorney, during the rest of the process. And I'll be communicating with everyone, all of the parties, to make sure we stay on track for everything. You'll get weekly updates from me on next steps and things to prepare, such as scheduling your home inspection, delivering your deposit, your earnest money deposits, being prepared for specific deadlines for your mortgage, and so on and so forth. When you're working with a buyer's agent who you like and trust, you'll never be left in the dark. And what's happening, and before you know it, you'll be at a closing table signing so many pieces of paper that you will need a definite rest after that. And you'll also need a glass of wine when you're done, or even better yet, champagne to celebrate. Now that we've gone through 4 weeks of the First Time Home Buyer Bootcamp, you might be ready to take the next step and schedule your very own real-life buyer consultation. Remember, even if you're 6 to 12 months out, it's a good idea to get started with the process so you have a real estate agent and a lender you feel comfortable with and you are prepared for the entire process. Ready to make smart real estate decisions? Comment below, send me a DM, text me if you have my number, whatever works, and let me know, and let me see if I can help you any way I can, okay? Another thing to keep in mind right now, if you're gonna look right now, if you're looking to buy, inventory's low. So everything we talk about is always relevant to today's market. And what today's market is, it could be a very different market 6 months from now. So just keep all of that in mind whenever we're talking about anything on here. I'm usually speaking in today's market terms, okay? Thank you again for tuning into this week's live episode of Cheers to a Savvy Home. If you have any specific questions about the home buying process, or you want to schedule your buyer's consultation to get the ball rolling with everything I've talked about today, again, comment below, send me a DM. I'll reach out to you and we'll get something scheduled. No pressure, just talk and see where you want to go next. Have a fantastic day. Cheers.